Hello again, folks. Right, this is the second breakout session here, Breakout 2. The title is basically Improve Your Security Outcomes by Making it All About the People. Now that runs on from something you frequently hear, essentially, about this industry, which is people are the greatest weakness. In the right circumstances, that can also obviously be your greatest strength. Raymond Fenton is Head of InfoSec Programme and Culture at OVO, so I'm going to hand over to Raymond now. Raymond. Give him a round of applause, stop being mean.
Cheers, thanks very much. I put the timer on because I know lunch is coming up pretty soon, so I'll make sure I try and not overrun. I also ask you to be gentle with me. This is the first time I presented, and when I knew I was in the main auditorium, I nearly died. I asked Pete for a small room that would take about 3 people, but it seems to have went wrong. So it maybe means that people are interested in how you have to have people at the forefront of your organisation. A little bit about myself. I don't know if anybody was in the last piece, but I haven't come from a security background. I came from a customer service background. One of the main things I achieved was I looked after the recruitment programme for the London Olympics for the volunteer programme. It was all about customers. And one of the things when I got into security, I still have that at the forefront of my feelings, is that we should always be thinking about the customer, be that internal or external, and security should be at the forefront of anything that we're trying to consider. I'm also, you'll see a lot of sporting analogies through my presentation. I love coaching football and I love coaching people. So again, trying to develop people to be what they can be within an organisation is very passionate in what I believe. I teach 4 or 5-year-old girls at the moment, so it's like herding, cats at some point. But I do have that passion to seeing people develop and be at the best. I work for OVO Energy. So OVO Energy was formed in 2009, so we're quite a young company. It was formed by Stephen Fitzpatrick, and he still owns the company at this date. We were a challenger in the marketplace. He always wanted to challenge the big 6. But in 2020, he actually bought SSE, and we actually became one of the big 6 in energy and retail. Number 3 at this present time, within the UK. So it is all about trying to make improvements around our people, and some of the areas that we'll cover today. This is where my technology doesn't work. So I'd like to start with a statistic. I don't know if anybody knows the amount of data breaches that are caused by people within your organisation. Anybody want to throw out a number? 80%. Close. 88% of actual breaches and incidents are caused by employees' mistakes. Actually, a similar research by IBM puts that number at 95%. But moreover, when we find a breach in the company and blame it on the culprit, that's not the thing to do. 9 times out of 10, it's actually the company's fault when we come to these things. I really do need this to work. I don't know what's happened with it. Oh, here we go. Okay. And the employees that are left there afterwards, they basically feel guilty in what they do. Now, 1 out of 4 employees, when they actually are part of a breach, they leave the company within a year. And as I say, the rest of them are feeling guilty about it. And when we build all these defences, the companies will spend a lot on technology. We've heard this morning the increased spend on technology. But that little door at the side, that is where your employee might let someone in. And that's where we have to look and see how we can actually put the defences up and help our employees, move forward in this. So what makes it tough for OVO? It is a team sport. Sorry, just... We do want to talk about the chinks in the arbour. Cybersecurity is a team sport. Our CAO and ExCo are the captains, and every employee is a player on the field. In the world of cybersecurity, knowledge is our playbook, and our tech landscape is our ever-changing game field. Just in sports, managing cybersecurity risks, it needs constant training and adaptation to stay ahead of the game. Phishing attacks are like opponents trying to score on us. We must defend our goal by training our teams to recognise these deceptive plays. Social engineering is the cyber equivalent of a fake-out play. We need to strengthen our defence against these tactics. A strong password is like a solid defence in sports. It's our first line of protection against unauthorised access. Skipping software updates is like leaving holes in our defence, so let's keep our systems fully patched and stay secure. In the cybersecurity game, awareness is our best defence. Educating our team is crucial to costly turnovers. BYOD and remote work are away games in cybersecurity. We must ensure that our good practices are even on foreign turf. Shadow IT becomes a wild card in our strategy, but let's bring it into the light and ensure all tools play by our security rules. In cybersecurity, errors are like turnovers. We must practice precision and attention to detail to avoid costly mistakes. Resistance to change is like a team refusing to adapt a game plan. Let's coach our team to embrace new security practices. Reporting is our instant replay. It helps us review the game and make necessary adjustments. Overconfidence can lead us to security penalties. We need to stay humble and to stay vigilant. But more and more, inadequate training is like sending an unprepared team onto the field, so let's invest in our players' cybersecurity skills. When addressing these challenges, it requires a holistic approach that combines technology, policies, and most importantly, education and awareness to change human behaviours. We have to encourage our organisations to invest in comprehensive cybersecurity training, promote a security-conscious culture, and provide clear guidelines for employees to follow to mitigate and challenge effectively. So let's dive into the wild world of cyber and the challenges at OVO. The first thing, cybersecurity risk is like a pesky sidekick that hangs around whenever technology exists. Our CEO and ExCo crew are the heroes responsible for dealing with it, but here's the deal. To lead effectively, they need to be tech savvy. They've got to understand the ever-changing tech landscape. And boy, our landscape, it's like a shape-shifting chameleon on caffeine. It changes quickly, and let's face it, sometimes more unpredictably than we realise. So how do we manage cybersecurity risk? We do need a constant flow of info about our tech. The quality of info and how our teams are handling security risks is like having a scoreboard at a basketball game. Our tech developers and operators need to be the ears and insight for InfoSec. That's our cybersecurity hero squad to keep the bad guys out. And then when things do go south, InfoSec steps in to lead the charge in responding to security incidents, just like the special team of the cyber world. I'm not sure who in the audience has read or watched David Marquette's videos on YouTube, and I do think you should. You know, they're great videos. And one of the things when we were looking for inspiration on what we needed to do differently at OVO is we looked at his inspirational words and quotes, but also the All Blacks. There's a quote later on, and actually a section that was straight out, basically an All Black coaching manual. Now, he loves these quotes. So, you know, some of these are, you know, leadership should be given control rather than taking control, and creating leaders rather than forging followers. Now, that's a powerful quote, you know, and will your organisation allow this to happen? We'll talk about that a little bit later. The best way to take control is to give it away. Now, that's maybe a little bit, you know, wow. But if you actually can supercharge your team effectiveness, and it helps with motivation by giving them the control. You don't move information to authority, you move authority to information. That's all about decentralising decision-making. What's that all about, and why is it a game changer? We'll break that down later. And in a controlled, orientated culture, people need permission to think. We don't want that. We want a leadership culture where everybody is expected to think. There's a great difference between that. And leadership is not just for a select few at the top. It's highly effective. In highly effective organisations, there is leaders at every level. You know, leadership is for everyone. So summing it up with David Marquette's leadership principles, we have the power to transform our organisation. And this is how we've done it at OVO. We basically look at the pillars of competence and clarity, and basically that then starts to allow us to give control to individuals and the teams throughout. We have a number of product teams throughout OVO, and we have a small InfoSec team. There's no way that we can cover all the employees and all the programs that are actually happening. So we do have to ensure that we've given the competence and the clarity to allow teams to develop their own pieces of work. One of the ways we've done this is through storyboarding. Visuals gives that instant pizzazz to what you're trying to deliver. You give them a standard, you give them a policy to read through, they won't do it. They want to see, most people are visual learners, and basically visuals are kind of the trusty sidekicks in the world of security. Now, the reason why it is such a great tool for us is that it basically allows us to wow stakeholders at a very early stage. It's almost like a trailer to a blockbuster movie for security. It allows us to spot security weakness like a detective on a mission, and it makes sure that everyone is on the same page. We can pick security scenarios, we can then put in the ingredients, who the actors are, what the actions are, what the elements are, and then using diagrams, flow charts, Miro boards, all of a sudden we can actually, show the feedback and basically tweak for perfection as we go along. It gives a better grasp of the security process. It makes teamwork work. We get a lot of better collaboration with using it. We hopefully catch the baddies before they strike, and we make security decisions in the teams like a boss. Now, one of the things that we need to do is we need to recognise what people already do. And these are the three areas of the type of things that we look for within individuals. We look for leadership, we look for belonging, and we look for teamwork. Now, anybody that has followed the New Zealand All Blacks, that teamwork piece is straight out of their coaching manual. That's what they look for. But all these things together don't actually mean much. So what we need to do is look at how these join in. And then for OVO, what we're looking for is people who are have leadership, teamwork, and belonging as part of their makeup. If they only have teamwork and leadership, they can be motivated, they're capable, they're fast-working teams, but they're only limited to simple and obvious problems. If they have the leadership and then the belonging, they're usually exciting and fun, groups to work in, but they're basically very slow-paced. And then the teamwork and belonging element, that is very diverse and inclusive. However, they probably don't have the confidence to actually impact the issue that's required. So we dive a little bit more into the skills. Basically, the skills identify the growth needs, reduce the knowledge needed when the cognitive load is already high, what skills need to be developed and how can be augmented with tools, advice, and code. We need to reduce the need for people outside the core InfoSec team to be trained in specific security tradecraft. We love to give clarity. Everyone who knows their goals and the limits of their authority. We can communicate their contributions to the decisions about the security of data, technology, and the processes within the span of their control. However, we do need to be vigilant. A centralised continuous act detection and response service is built at OVO. It includes incident learning mechanisms to improve preventive controls and threat intelligence to anticipate attacks. We try to decentralise login support investigations, and when centralised detection has not been prioritised. And governance, we have a strong governance team to continue looking at what the individuals are doing within the organisation. Now to the juicy stuff about career growth. We are passionate about career growth at OVO. And one of the things about getting people into cybersecurity, it's always a challenge for us. We've got around 25 people now in security. I would say that probably 15 of those are from non-technical backgrounds. We take from the business, we take from out with, we look at people's skills and what they can offer us as an individual, not always what OVO can offer them. But at the same time, basically we ensure that everybody has to have a personal development plan within OVO, and security is actually built into everyone's personal development plans. It might be very small for our customer service element, but it is there. What we're trying to do is basically levelling up our security game. We want to make it crystal clear that security is a path we're pursuing within OVO. We also want to talk with some actual opportunities, for their advancement. Actions do speak louder than words. Now, for the hardcore security buffs, we also offer a shot at snagging into extra training in security. We spoke about CSEC training before, but we offer in-house CSEC training modules for those who have security at their heart. It's been built, our own program. It's been delivered through help from a company called Immersive Labs, but it's tailored to the threats that are out there. Our personal development plans offer numerous benefits that can significantly improve various aspects of one's life. It gives clarity. A PDP provides a clear roadmap for achieving life objects, preventing you from drifting aimlessly. It empowers individuals to help them recognise their strengths, weaknesses and talents, giving them control over their lives. A well-crafted PDP helps individuals bounce back from setbacks, and they adapt to obstacles, turning challenges into opportunities. It also instills confidence by giving individuals a sense of purpose and direction and making them aware of their capabilities. We also use it for goal-setting strategies. This includes setting realistic but achievable goals. We track progress and adapt to the changing circumstances. We also, when working on the PDV, it allows the individuals to understand themselves better and improve their own self-esteem. It also helps to lead improved relationships, within the organisation and out with the organisation, as individuals align their life and goals and values, potentially leading to more meaningful connections. Already spoke about motivation, but we know where we want to go and how we want to get there, so it keeps us motivated, it keeps the levels high, and individuals stay focused on their objectives. We also love a work-life balance. It's one of the main things that we strive at OVO. We don't want people working 60, 70, 80-hour weeks. We basically want an individual to plan for different life phases, including career changes and maintaining a healthy work-life balance. One of my team basically just went on a 6-week sabbatical, taking his children around Europe because they're just at the age that they'll know and learn about Europe, so he's done that. Myself, I'm going to do the Camino de Santiago next year, so again, OVO's supporting me to take that extended time off because it's a goal that I've built into my PDP. We also try and encourage the continuous learning and skill development, which is essential for personal growth and successes. And ultimately, we're looking for happiness. Creating a PDP is a way of planning for future happiness, and it helps individuals work towards their goals and live a more fulfilling life. Incorporating a well-structured personal development plan into your organisation for everyone basically can be a valuable tool for personal growth, success, and overall well-being. However, you'll find people are not all that engaged. Some will do the bare minimum. So, as a company, we've demonstrated a strong commitment to safeguarding sensitive data. Even though we're an energy company, we're basically a data company at heart. We've over 5 million customer records that we need to look after. And we need to be responsible in data handling practices. So we do have a number of, kind of key points that everybody has to adhere to. We do have minimum security standards, and these standards are established for baseline to safeguard OVO's sensitive data, with the emphasis on data security and privacy. We do have legal and regulatory compliance. We have Ofgem, ICO. So these standards are acknowledged, and they don't exempt OVO or any affiliated parties from these additional legal, regulatory, or contractual obligations relating to data. We also try and push our belief onto third parties. So we tell our partners what we expect, and that includes partners, consultants, and vendors, and they have to adhere to their information security policies, especially when handling non-public information. And we're very tight on our contract obligations in regards to that. We do ensure we're adaptable. Our standards are designed to adapt and are subject to regular review and updates to address the evolving cyber security challenges. We tailor them to departments. We have a number of departments, so we recognise the need that we need to tailor standards to individual department needs and ensuring that security practices are aligned with specific requirements. One of the things we have done is basically training for developers. We've actually put together a minimum ASV Level 2 training requirement for all our developers at OVO. So this is going to ensure a consistent and foundational security framework in all our development activities. My own security team, we basically follow the CSEC framework standards, and basically that's aligned in every personal development and training needs, and that indicates a commitment to continuous improvement within our team. Other areas we do look at is privacy by default, security by design, security by default, data and systems operational security, provenance of code, etc. By integrating these principles into OVO's operations, the organisation hopefully is well positioned to navigate the evolving landscape of cybersecurity and data protection while maintaining a strong commitment to privacy and security. But there's no secret recipe for data protection. So one of the things that we've tried to do, and then to increase the numbers of people that are working within security, is look for individuals with these type of skills and capabilities that are working within our organisation. So we have a broad security champion network, and that is non-paid and paid. So in some of the key teams, we basically have paid security champions that as part of their role, they will actually look to be the embedding of the security team into that area. So for security champions, first we do have to identify the teams. So we need to figure out which teams are going to be part of our security champion program. We take a look at our company structure and basically find out who, have we got developers, product owners, QA folks, etc. The next is that we scope out the technology that we're using within each of these departments. So is it Python, JavaScript, or something else entirely? And knowing that will help us tailor, the security approach. When we basically speak to the teams as well, it's always good to see where the team stands in terms of security. Are they already doing code reviews? Are they have automated security testing? And this will give us a kind of a baseline to work from each of the teams. And then basically we need to check how they're handling security issues. Do they have established process for reporting and fixing vulnerabilities, etc. We then define the role for each of the security champions. So we basically, what will the security champion do? And that's really dependent on what we're trying to achieve in the terms of security with each of the departments. They can be like security evangelists within their team, spreading the good word about best practices. They can also be up there to setting up security standards and procedures within the relevant departments. And they can organise fun stuff within their teams, like capture the flag events, etc. as well. And then when it gets, if they want to get their hands dirty, they can do threat modelling, checking code, and I better speed up. When they want to do get their, their hands dirty, they do need to then basically look at the security tooling, etc. Only a few more points to go and then we're finished. I mean, one of the things that we need to do is to keep your champions excited. Plan some cool activities like capture the flag events or hackathons to keep the security vibe alive. We recognise and we reward our champions' hard work, and we basically let the whole company know when they've achieved something great. We've added gamification into the mix so that there's leaderboards and we give away cool prizes. And we basically measure progress using goals. Things like closing a percentage of vulnerabilities or completing security training modules are basically show the maturity level that's within the company. That is it. Thank you for coming today. I don't know if anybody's got any quick questions before we...
To be honest, Raymond, we don't have time for it.
We don't have time.
You kind of talked up to the time, but thank you
very
much.
Apologies. Cheers, thanks.